Hey, yo, what's up, gang? We are still in the camping van, and I just watched UFC Week 3 Contender Series. That shit was wild, actually. I know I'm a bit late to the party. Again, I don't have Wi-Fi. I'm living in a camper van at the moment in Australia, but that shit was sick. That was another, I'm going to dive into it, and I want to break down the cards, and I want to break down, the fights, and talk about some of them, because there's some really good performances here, some really good fighters. But yeah, there's also no UFC this weekend, so I figured I'd make this video as well. Shit was crazy, man. We've had two back-to-back Contender Series weeks where, everybody's getting a contract, which not a bad thing in my opinion. If I couldn't pick one person to not get a contract from this season. If I had to pick one person to not get a contract, it would probably be big homie right here in the middle. What was his name? Sousa. But dude, Sousa had a good performance still. He just was the only person that didn't get a first round finish, which is absolutely cooked. There's some crazy people in here, so let's get to it, right? Right off the bat, I'm going to try to find the names because this is a little bit different, just the way this is laid out. I think we got to start bottom to top, then go up. All right, so we got Dante Johnson versus Darian Abbey. Johnson is first year as a pro MMA fighter, apparently. 6 fights in 1 year. Every single one of them is a first round finish. 6-0. I mean, just look at this dude, man. He looks like he's on some this dude is on some shit, man. First of all, he's one of these guys that you can just tell he's stupid, but he's a good fighter because he's stupid. This guy's just 80% just stupidity and muscle and just athleticism, and 20% just intelligence. But good on him, man. He's a very dangerous fighter. He's small for the weight class. He's fighting at heavyweight, but he's 5'8". But he's really, really athletic. He's really, really jacked. He's just a very strong, explosive guy, and he's really not afraid to close distance. He hasn't fought or had any adversity in his fights yet, all first round finishes, because he comes out and he's one of these guys, and there's a lot of these guys on this card actually, and I think more in Contender Series nowadays that are fighting like this or just are like this, that they really only they use technique still, but a lot of it is just I'm going to close distance and I'm just going to look to land one big shot, especially on Contender Series, because they want to make a point and they want to make a statement. They want to win by a KO in the first round. So they're really just closing distance. Some of them have defense. Some of them have their hands up, closing distance and trying to land a big shot. Some of them, like Dante, don't really. They're just coming forward and they're just fucking throwing at you. And a guy like Dante, doesn't matter if you're way bigger than him, if you're 6'2", 6'4" for heavyweight. This dude's strong enough and jacked enough and retardedly athletic enough and just retarded enough that he has the just the kind of the retard strength, man. He's one of these guys that he touches you, you're gonna get KO'd. And that's exactly what happened in this fight. First of all, the guy he's fighting is okay, but not great for heavyweight, and didn't use his range really well. Dante will have some issues fighting against other really big, stronger guys in heavyweight, especially ones that are better at using range and keeping the range on him, because his only kind of tactic is I'm gonna come forward and I'm gonna try to close the range and I'm gonna try to land a bomb. But he's a little bit open, and if you can stop him from closing the range, you can slow him down a bit. We'll see how he does out of the second, third round, but he looked really good. He landed a big shot. He's got great finishing instincts. He literally hurt the guy and just swarmed him, and we saw that a couple times tonight. There was the last guy in the final fight, Gotcha, or whatever his name is, Ryan Gotcha. His finishing intelligence or finishing instinct was really good as well. There's a couple guys, but yeah, Dante Johnson looked really good. It's hard to say anything wrong about a guy who's 6-0 as a pro fighter within 1 year, and all first round knockouts. I did try to say some bad stuff about him, but bro, let's be real, he's crushing it. And it's pretty impressive, honestly. Again, the regional scene talent pool for heavyweight probably not very good, and I do think when he fights higher level heavyweights in the UFC, his size is going to give him a little bit of issues, and just as an experience is going to give him a little bit of issues. But also, a lot of the heavyweights in the UFC are kind of shit too, so you might do pretty good against the bottom level of that group until he gets more experience. Manuel Sousa versus Christian Perez. Dude, I think Manuel Sousa and Christian Perez are probably the two best fighters on this card. I think they're both of them are the most skilled. Maybe the one guy that got KO'd in the second last fight, but we'll get to that later. These two guys are super skilled, both of them. Christian Perez looked amazing in the striking, really, really good in the grappling. I thought he was going to have a hard time grappling against Manuel Sousa because Manuel Sousa's got technically, a higher jiu-jitsu belt, better grappling pedigree, and he's also quite a bit stronger and bigger than Christian Perez, but that was not the case. Christian Perez did a great job of getting takedowns, controlling Manuel Sousa, and almost submitting him. First 2 rounds, pretty much dominated by Christian Perez. You could tell that when they were the stand-up, even though Christian Perez is technical and really good, Manuel Sousa was a tiny bit better in the stand-up. And the problem with that, too, was when Manuel Sousa uses really good feints, but the difference in the stand-up that I really noticed, and I noticed in a lot of these fights, was the power. Manuel Sousa, when it was standing up, he was using good feints. He was selecting his shots well. Christian Perez could have done a better job moving his head. But the big thing was when Manuel Sousa landed, it hurt Christian Perez. And by the time that third round came around, Christian Perez was gassed. Well, it was getting gassed out. And then Manuel Sousa hit him with some big shots right at the beginning of the round. And I think it kind of just deteriorated. I don't know the word. It's late as shit. Kind of just installed this little bit of disbelief or lack of self-confidence in Christian Perez, where he's like, I just dominated 2 rounds and this guy is rocking me. What's going on? Now I'm tired. And I don't want to say gave up, but he did kind of give up. He gave Manuel Sousa a pretty easy TKO, mostly because he was tired. And if anybody should be tired from all those exchanges, it should be Manuel Sousa. He was a guy that was getting dominated on the ground, getting hit on the ground. Christian Perez, I think, could improve upon his cardio. But I think part of that was he got hit with a couple good shots at the beginning of the round and got, I guess, discouraged. And I was like, shit, I might lose this fight. And started, kind of fighting that way a little bit. And then as, each 30 seconds of the round went by, he got hit with a couple more really clean shots. And Manuel Sousa was tracking him down, landing big left hand, big straight left hands. And, really, really good comeback from Manuel Sousa. He looked really good in the striking. His grappling looked pretty good. I do think he's going to have a hard time against some of the better guys in the UFC with his grappling pedigree as it is right now. But his striking is very, very good. And it's going to be a problem for a lot of people. And I think his grappling is good enough to do well against most of the bottom level of his division. And then as he improves, he'll do better. But yeah, great finish from him. He rocked him. He hit him with some good body shots. He had him hurt in the striking. He didn't rush it. He picked his shots. He landed some nice body shots, which eventually dropped Christian Perez for the finish and let him get a finish with some TKO. So yeah, crazy stuff. Another one, we got Abdul Rakim Yakayev, another guy from Kazakhstan, I believe. He fought, who the hell did he fight? Alec Lornez, who is supposed to be quite a good guy from MMA Lab, a nerd, smart, intelligent fighter. Dude, this bigger Ilya Topuria or Alexander Topuria looking motherfucker from Chechnya just came out and whooped this dude's ass. First of all, I don't think the guy who's fighting is I don't want to say as good or as gritty as he needed to be to fight something like this, but kind of what I'm saying. Big thing was that Yakayev just came out like a lot of these guys in this Contender Series, I guess, week with no disregard for the other guys' offense. First fight of the night, we saw that with Dante. Second fight of the night, it was still kind of the same. Sousa didn't really have much regard for Perez's striking or offense, but he got taken down and kind of controlled. But in that third round, he just walked him down. This fight, Yakayev just came in and he just I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna land, and it's gonna hurt you more than you hurt me. He was a better striker. He got hit with a couple shots right at the beginning of the round, and then he countered a couple with a really good combo, rocked him, and he jumped on him right away with really, really good follow-up shots. I was impressed with this guy's finishing instinct as well. Yukayev was like landing very, very clean shots. In the ground and pound, he was like really going for the finish. He was really attacking, but he was also making sure that every shot landed cleanly, and it did. And those shots hurt for sure. Alec Lorenz kind of just covered up and let himself get finished, but he was probably already rocked at that point. Another great win. He's 30 seconds. He won 30 seconds of round one. First fight was what? A minute of round one. And the other first round finishes as well. It's absolutely retarded. Mauricio Barbosa versus Damon Wilson. So this is actually a fight I want to talk about a little bit more, because I think that Damon Wilson is the better fighter in this fight. And I know it doesn't make sense because he got KO'd in round one. And Mauricio Barbosa is a really, really good fighter. I mean, he's got 17 wins and 16 of them are first round KOs, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you could see from the picture that we're looking at right here, his technique it's not bad. It's not bad at all. But it's not near as good as Damon Wilson's. Damon Wilson's technique was really good. He was landing a lot of kicks. He was landing a lot of knees, I guess. He was landing a lot of punches. He was blocking a lot of shots. He looked really good. His movement was great. He was switching stances really well. He was in and out. He was mixing it up. He was feinting really well. And he did do very good in that first round until he got rocked. I just think he's a better technical fighter, technical striker than Mauricio Barbosa. But that's what comes into play, especially in a fight and especially in Contender Series. There's guys like Mauricio. Usually it's the guys from like some random ass like country or something like that, anywhere other than, the States and Canada. They just come at you with zero fucking disregard for anything you're throwing at them. And that's what Mauricio Barbosa did. That's what Yukayev did. That's what Dante has kind of like the Down syndrome, like other country, like Brazil fighting vibe, where they're just like, fuck it, I'm just going to hit you harder than you hit me. And they just come forward. Same with this dude here. I actually don't know where Ryan Gondra is from. Yeah, he's from Brazil as well. Fucking checks out. But they just have zero disregard. Zero disregard for anything you're throwing back at them. They don't give a fuck. And Mauricio Barbosa in this fight was basically, and it was smart on his part. Like, it was not a bad thing on his part. He hits way harder than Damon Wilson. And he knows that if he just lands a couple big shots or one clean shot or a couple big ones on the guard of Damon Wilson, he's going to rock him eventually. And he kind of fought like that. He was really trying to close the distance. Damon Wilson's like a good outside fighter. So Mauricio Barbosa has to close distance. And he did a good job of that. He was closing distance pretty much just with big shots, though, and just really wide hooks. He landed one, like, really, I would say it was clean. It was a clean technical shot. He definitely absolutely loaded up on it and just slung it. And not that it was lucky that it hit by any means, but he just clipped him overhand over the jab almost right on the top and dropped him. I've never seen a dude drop like Damon Wilson dropped on his face, literally folded into a little shrimp. And then all of a sudden, after he bounced off his dome, he kind of got back up and was still in the fight. And to be fair, Damon Wilson did a really good job of getting himself back in this fight, but he kind of fucked it up at the last bit. There's 45 seconds left of the last round, and I know when you fight somebody like Mario Barbosa, and they're just this guy that's not quite as technical, and they're just trying to bully you and just trying to land a big shot, you do have to stand your ground. I totally understand, and I think that's important to stand your ground against people like that. But, like, not all the time, but, you have to at some point in the fight. You just can't be running the whole time. Otherwise, they'll eventually just track you down. And Damon Wilson tried to stand his ground with 45 seconds left of the first round after getting dropped pretty much twice badly. At that point, like, there's 45 seconds again. He got hit. He got rocked. He probably doesn't know what time it is. He was fighting well, though, still. But at that point, he should have just, like, fucking ran, like... Sadiq Yusuf for the last 45 seconds. He got himself out of the round, recollected his thoughts, talked to his corner, and then go back in the second round. I think if he played it a little bit smarter, didn't try to hold his ground quite as much at the end of the fight, he probably could have made it out. But he didn't. Mauricio Barbosa looked really good. I mean, you have to give a guy like that a UFC shot. You have to. He's 17 wins and like 16 first-round KOs. It's ridiculous. And it's not like he looked bad. I just think that Damon Wilson was probably a little bit more technical fighter, but Mauricio Barbosa kind of knew that and kind of just said, fuck it, I'm going to walk you down and throw big shots, and that's what worked. This next fight, Ryan Gondra, honestly, Trent Miller looked like shit, but Ryan Gondra looked really good. Like, this guy's striking for, is he a heavyweight? Or is he a light heavyweight? Middleweight. Oh, shit. I don't know if he looks amazing for middleweight, but he does look good. His striking is good. He's a big dude for the division. He's another one of these guys that, like, he doesn't give a fuck. Like, he's throwing caution to the wind, and he's going to look to land 1 or 2 shots, and he knows even if they touch you with your hands up, you got your guard up, it's still going to rock you, and then he's going to swarm you. His striking was pretty technical. He did a good job of, like, mixing in the front teep, mixing in feints and body kicks and leg kicks and stuff like that. Once he had him hurt, he just swarmed. He didn't give a shit. And he's just throwing hooks like this. But honestly, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, if you have the guy rocked a little bit, and then, you know, we're going to say that, and they're going to be like, oh, but what about, like, somebody, like, blocking, clean counter back, and KOing the guy barely ever happens. Second of all, Trent Miller wasn't doing anything anyways in this case. Third of all, if Ryan Gondra just starts swinging like that, you better run. Like, if a dude like that is swinging that hard at you and that much at you, like, just covering up and trying to time a counter perfectly, especially after you've already been rocked, odds are you're going to sleep. Like, it's likely going to happen. At that point, you should be trying to shoot for a takedown, or you should be trying to run away, recenter yourself, so he's not swinging wildly at you, and then try to counter him like one of the first 2 shots where he comes into range. But you have a guy who's just swinging wildly at you, and you're trying to block, counter after you're already rocked. It's not going to happen. You're probably just going to go to sleep 9 times out of 10. So Ryan Gondra looked really good, man. I think every single one of these guys deserves a contract. I think it was a really good Contender Series week. Honestly, though, like, the first week sucked balls. The last 2 weeks have been 5 for 5 on signings, and I think every one of them has been deserved, honestly. I really... Dude, Contender Series this year has been more entertaining for me than previous years. But it goes by so quick because I'm skipping everything else, right? I'm just watching the fights. But it goes by so quick because these guys... dying over here. These guys are literally finishing everybody in the first round. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought I would make one because, again, we don't have a UFC fight card this week. There's one next week. It looks pretty good. I believe it's UFC Paris. So I'll do predictions and a recap for that. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 300 subs. I love you all. Deuces.